for the final time on Saturday. It is race time at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo, round one of the EuroNASCAR 2 Championship of 2024 is just a few moments away from getting started. I believe the cars are not yet out there on the circuit, so they should be released in just a few moments. There you see them in pit lane as the sun beats down the evening sunshine here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo. This has been as perfect of a day as one could imagine from a weather perspective. At least if you're outside a car. If you're inside the car, it may be a trifle too warm out there. It has been a boiling hot day here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Our fans have been treated to a lot of exciting racing. They were here in their droves earlier on for EuroNASCAR Pro. I think some people may have taken a bit of an early bath before the EuroNASCAR 2 race, but they're missing out because we know that this race is going to be one to savour. The cars will very shortly be heading out onto the circuit, and the one that leads them on the grid will be Gil Linster in the number 50 car. He's on pole position for this race in the Hendricks Motorsport number 50 car, and he will be looking to try and make it happen here in the very first attempt of the season after tasting victory last year in the final round. He'll like to begin the new season in much the same way. Of course, the circuit that we're taking to, the Circuit Ricardo Tormo, this 2.5 mile, 4 kilometre circuit, a track that has offered up some brilliant moments in EuroNASCAR. Often you get to see people make a move at turn 1, continue the move at turn 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and even turn 6, and we've had some brilliant moments down the years here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo, which really has become the traditional home of season opener weekend in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. We are all very excited to be back here after the long winter break. 14 corners of this circuit. Such a fabulous facility. Of course, this weekend, a very busy one for the NASCAR community as always. No matter what side of the Atlantic you are on, there is NASCAR racing to be found. The NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, the only continental series in NASCAR racing. Of course, we line up alongside the other international series in Mexico, Brazil, and Canada. And then, of course, there are the plethora of national and regional NASCAR series in the United States as well. And we see increasing amounts of crossover between the international series and the big-time events. Of course, we saw Gil Linster racing at the Daytona International Speedway on Daytona 500 week earlier in the year. He was running within the ARCA series there, actually put in a very good showing, was very strong there. I'm sure he's looking forward to going oval racing for the first time in several seasons. Of course, the Ven Ray Oval in the Netherlands is going to be host to one of our events this time around in the tail end of June. We're very excited to go back there. Of course, apart from that, it is the same calendar that you know and love from last year, including all of the big hitters. Of course, Vallelunga, the Brands Hatch Circuit, Most, Oschersleben, Zolder. Circuit Ricardo Tormo, though, is where we kick this off. And it is going to be a compelling battle this year in EuroNASCAR 2. There's been a changing of the guard, I would say, in EuroNASCAR 2. Of course, last year there were brilliant battles between Siortzis and Dufro and NASCAR at the front of the order. This time around, though, it is pretty much an open goal for some of the people who were either not here before or previously fought within the top 5. Gil Linster, of course, was a podium finisher last year, was a race winner last year in EuroNASCAR 2. He comes in as a potential championship favourite. The same applies to the man who lines up behind him on today's grid. Martin Dubek, previously a champion, of course, in EuroNASCAR 2 back in 2021. He will be one to watch. Thomas Tuchel as well has a lot of momentum behind him at the moment. He and Patrick Schauber on that second row of the grid for this race. Those are two other drivers who we reckon will be up there fighting for victories all season long within EuroNASCAR 2. There is Dubek putting a heat cycle through his Hendricks Motorsport Cars tyres at the moment. Tyres definitely a talking point this weekend. The Hoosier tyres in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series have to last through qualifying and both races in both EuroNASCAR 2 and EuroNASCAR Pro. Obviously separate tyres for the EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2 races. So if you're the same driver like Martin Dubek, he does have two different sets of tyres to play with this weekend. But this is the same pair of tyres that will have been on the car in qualifying this morning. And you really do have to make it last across the two races and quali. And in temperatures like these, towards the end of race 2 in particular, I think it is going to be quite minimal. Cars rolling down towards the grid then. Of course, for this race, it is going to be a 15-lap affair, 65 or so kilometres of racing anticipated. New for this season is a new regulation in regard to the safety car. If we go full safety car, then the laps that are run behind the safety car will not be counted towards the race distance. So if the safety car comes out on lap 8 and it's out there for 3 laps, we will resume the race on lap 9 of the race regardless. So the safety car laps will not be part of the race distance in 2024. There is still a time maximum though. 40 minutes plus 1 lap is the longest the race can go, but even a drama-filled race promises a lot of action and a full quota of race pace laps for our drivers. There you see Paul Giuffreau standing by the number 3 car. He's stood there interestingly not in his full racing gear, so he's decided not to come out with the full kit and caboodle on him at the moment. I think that's probably a good idea in this heat, to not wear the Nomex more than you have to. Similarly, Liam Hazemans is rocking the short sleeves as well, as is Andre Viegold, who's found himself down by Martin Dubek. We were with Andre just then. I think we probably should head down there to hear from Martin Dubek in just a second, as soon as we are back with Andre. Yes, we are now back, so let's throw down to the grid.
Martin Dubek, one of 2 Hendricks Motorsport drivers in row number 1. What's your plan for this race?
It's a bit that I have to start from P2 because they canceled my fastest to a fan during the quality. But still, first row, that's good. And I will see what happens. I think the car is ready after the pro race. And we will see.
Any different approach? Just it's because of your teammate next to you, or don't you care?
I think that it will be a really nice race. Our lap times were similar during the quality, so we will enjoy it for sure. The better will win.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to ask Jill about this.
There you heard it then from Andre Viegold. He's going to ask Gil Linster the same thing about whether it changes at all. Being an all Hendricks Motorsport front row of the grid, it is a great start for Hendricks with both of their cars there on the front row. That much is for certain. And there you see Thomas Tuchel. We're looking through the passenger side there at him. He is laser focused and ready, and also basking in the shade a little bit there. He's ready to go. And trying to keep cool, as all of these drivers are in these difficult conditions in this heat. The countdown to the command has just 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go, and Jill Linster is laser focused. Down to you, Andre.
I asked your teammate a few seconds ago if it's a difference having a teammate next to you right at the start in the front row. He said the fastest will win, the better will win. What about you?
Yeah, I think we share this opinion. For sure, I feel actually confident to have him on my side now. It's always good when you have your teammate on your side. I know that we will play fair, so yeah, just let the fast one win the race.
Any special strategies for today?
Just win the race. Actually, it's an easy one this time.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
There we go. So it sounds like there's a good amount of mutual respect between Linster and Dubek. They'll be familiar with each other from previous seasons and previous battles, of course, in EuroNASCAR 2. They'll be keeping an eye on some of those young chargers from behind as well. Patrick Schauber, of course, racing this time for RDV competition. That's one of the blockbuster new signings in the EuroNASCAR 2 paddock for this year. Of course, Paul Giffreau double-dipped last year, did both EuroNASCAR 2 and EuroNASCAR Pro for most of the season. But this time around, it has to be a different driver in 2. Down to Andre then. He's got Thomas Tefel with him.
Thank you so much. So, Thomas, a really, really good weekend so far. How do you feel before this EuroNASCAR 2 race?
I feel good. My feeling during the EuroNASCAR Pro was really good at the beginning, but I make a little mistake and my tire were not so good for the second part of the race. So I have to adjust these things for this race. Otherwise, I'm ready.
Thank you so much, and we have national anthems now. All right, thank you so much. Good luck. Okay, we're good. Le rétro? Je sais pas, je vois pas. Attention. Inside, like this? Yeah. Ah. Make a list for tools? Take every part. Yeah. Only for leather. Na podu sam samo statiku ostavio.
Well, I think the anthems are concluded. Andre, back to you.
Yes, just one more quick interview. I heard Queen was the music of choice in the cockpit.
Yeah, always a motivational music. Don't Stop Me Now from Queen. Always helps me to motivate, and yeah, so that's also the point of holding this my race now. We're not that far from the podium. It wasn't the qualifying that I expected to be, only P4, but yeah, we had some problems in the car, but now everything is fixed and I'm ready to go.
All right, you already answered all the questions I had, so good luck and have fun.
Thank you.
Now, will there be any stopping him then? Patrick Schauber, with Queen on in the car, getting ready to go. Less than 3 minutes until the countdown to command is given here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. We thank you all so much for joining us here on the live stream, as well, of course, as our fans here at the circuit. It's great to have such an incredible international audience. Hello to young Iran, who I understand is watching on the YouTube feed at the moment as well. Great to have younger fans, older fans, fans of all generations in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, and you can see that during the podium celebrations as well. A great mix of generations in the EuroNASCAR paddock and even on the grid as well. We've got some very experienced wily veterans. We've got some youngsters like Mario Urkeli, just 16 years of age. It is a great mix that we have here on this grid. So then Linster and Dubek at the sharp end of the order, and all Hendricks Motorsport top two, front row of the grid. Some other dramas further back that's worth covering. Dominic Schack seemingly might not be out there. The 99 car looks like it's missing from the grid. Of course, that was the car that Tobias Dowenhauer led in for a majority of the race in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier on. However, there was a differential issue, it was, that took that car out of the running earlier on. And it doesn't appear that the 99 promotion car is there. So that's a big story. Hopefully promotion can get the car out there for Dominic Schack. If not for today, then for tomorrow. So then, with less than 60 seconds, or just on 60 seconds, until the countdown is complete, Grand Marshal will soon give the command, the famous words: drivers, start your engines. We'll see who has the honour of doing that this afternoon as well. We had all manner of different dignitaries and famous faces giving the command over the course of 2023. The drivers or the personnel are clearing the grid. I understand MMA commentator Cesar Alonso is giving the command. There he is. He's a commentator. He should be good at this. Let's see how he does with the command.
Ya lo sabes, César, la parrilla es tuya. Drivers, start your engines!
With gusto. Very well done, Cesar. There you go. The command is given. Bit of an MMA theme then to the commands, to the Grand Marshals this weekend. We had Alejandro Thib, MMA influencer, give the command earlier on, and that was Cesar Alonso giving it gusto there. As the cars now get ready to roll for this race, then you see the all Hendricks Motorsport lineup on the first row of the grid. We'll run you through the top 10 as the cars roll away, and then I'll quickly run you through the rest of this 25 car scheduled starting order as well. The last of the personnel leaving the grid now then. Everybody ready to watch this race unfold. There's that's Dario Casso, I think, just going through his shot there. He's been having a chat, no doubt, with Mario Urkeli. Dario's been racing for a long time. We'll be imparting wisdom on Dario. So then the cars roll away now. And it is Linster and Dubek that lead them off then as we get ready for the start of this race. It is Gil Linster who will line up on pole position for this one in the 50 car. He's alongside Martin Dubek in the 7 on row 1. Thomas Defel on row 2 in the 34 alongside Patrick Schauber on his debut race for RDV competition. Claudio Remigio Capelli lines up in 5th place in the number 5 car. He's alongside Melvin de Groot. Thomas Dombrowski in 7th position. He's alongside Kenko Miura. Will be looking to have a better run of it than he did in EN Pro earlier on. Roberto Benedetti on 9th position alongside Thomas Chrysonis. The first of the rookie trophy runners, Simone Giussani in 11th place alongside Julian Reberg. Jack Davidson in 13th position as he moves into a new chapter along with Lux Motorsports. 14th place, Mario Ercoli in his first full season of racing in the EuroNASCAR. Victor Neumann in 15th, Florian Richard in 16th position. Then it's Mikael Blekemolen and Viti Riala. That's a row with very different levels of racing experience. Sven van Leer in 19th place, allegedly alongside Dominic Schack, but it doesn't sound like the 99 car has made it out there. Reza Sardeha is next in 21st place, Nick Strickler 22nd, Casoli, Quintal and Perrier round out our 25 car scheduled starting order for this one. And as the cars roll, I can now welcome Andre Viegold, who has once again done the big sprint from the grid to the commentary box. And Andre, EuroNASCAR 2, the sun is setting, it's lower in the sky. I imagine it may have got a little bit warmer over the last couple of hours. This is again, even with the slightly shorter race, going to be a big test for man and machine.
Don't stop me now. Oh man, this music is now stuck in my head thanks to Patrick Schober. To be honest, yes, it's really, really hot out there. I think we measured over 27 degrees right now. So the sun is still burning, but we are ready for another great race here in EuroNASCAR. 15 laps on the schedule, and we have a very interesting first row with two Hendrix Motorsport drivers, with Jill Linster and Martin Dubeck. And I think we're going to see a very, very nice fight among the rookies with Simone Giussani, Julian Reberg and Mario Ercoli, and also Victor Neumann and Florian Richard. There are so many new faces that are capable of doing great, great things. The lights on the pace cars are out, so I head back to you, Adam, for the start.
Well, tonight we're going to have ourselves for a good time. 15 laps of racing in EuroNASCAR 2 about to begin for the first time. They will go through the grid slots as they roll away. And let's see who gets the best start of all. The pole sitter did not get the jump in EuroNASCAR Pro, but it seems as though Gil Linster has gotten away just fine. It's even Stevens between Linster and Dubeck. Dubeck on the outside line isn't going to make it easy for Linster, and sure enough, they're still side by side as they run through the first corner. And actually, it's Dubeck who's gotten through there. A little bit of contact between them even coming out of turn one. I'm very surprised that Dubeck carried that much momentum, and I think Linster has damage or a tyre down, because he did not get through turn two at all. And that little bit of contact may have been extremely costly. Well, after the talk of respect and confidence in one another in the interviews with my colleague, seemingly it's all gone a little bit wrong. It's Martin Dubeck then who leads the way after contact with Linster coming out of turn one. Then in second place it is Thomas Toffel, who is looking very racy in the wheel tracks of the number 7. In third place there is the number 5 car. That's Claudio Remeggio Capelli from the third row of the grid. Melvin de Groot has also followed him nicely up the order. He's up into 4th place, which means Patrick Schober has lost position actually. He's down in 5th position, I think just ahead potentially of Miura. So an interesting first lap of the race. We've had some shuffling around, but after all of that discussion that we heard on the pre-grid, Andre, the Hendrix Motorsport cars have found each other, and we just saw there just before I throw to you, Capelli going very, very sideways coming out of turn 12. That could open up the doors to Melvin de Groot as they head down towards turn 1.
You know exactly what I'm going to talk about right now. There's a curse about commentators, and it always feels like you jinxed it when you do such interviews. There was contact between both of them. I cannot really judge who did a little mistake or who got into who, so we have to check this after the race. But it was not the start Hendrix Motorsport want to see, and we have now Martin Dubeck in first. But Jill Linster, one of our title contenders after winning his first race in 2023, he's way, way down the order, and I think he's even going to the pit road, so I think there's a puncture or something like this after the contact they had. Not the way to start a race, I would say.
Definitely not. Chrysonis going wide at turn 2 that time by on lap number 2 of the race, and Roberto Benedetti pressuring him. Then it's Simone Giussani who'll be a familiar name to anyone who was in a EuroNASCAR paddock last year. He was racing in the EuroLegend Cup Series. A driver that looked very strong in that series and has looked strong in Italy over the last few years, but a big step up into EuroNASCAR and currently sits in 9th place, just ahead of Julian Rehberg. That's a 1-2 battle there, 9th and 10th place overall, 1st and 2nd in the Rookie Trophy as they run through turn 12 once again, turn 11, sorry, once again. It is in this battle for 3rd place, Capelli proving to be the cork in the bottle here, with Melvin de Groot, Patrick Schauber and Dombrowski all right there. And once again, Capelli getting a little bit sideways there. And goodness me, Melvin de Groot's car losing all of its bodywork in one fell swoop there. Just, I think, tapped the rear of the number 5. And that is definitely going to make a difference. I know they're not cosmetic, or I know they are not aero-dependent cars, but that front splitter is more than cosmetics. He's going to have understeer.
We have seen in the pits, by the way, Roy Hendricks, the team owner of Hendricks Motorsport, changing the tires. So the team boss is really working on the Jill Lindster car, but we've seen the contact between Capelli and the road, and it's not only the battle for 3rd place, or it was the battle for 3rd place, it was also for the lead in the Legend Trophy. So the old guys in the field, they are really doing a lot of action here right now, and we got the first penalty, the 74 car, so Kenko Miura gets a 5-second penalty for a false start, but the drama continues, Adam. Like we had in EuroNASCAR Pro, in EuroNASCAR 2, we have a lot of drama, and now we have Patrick Schauber passing Claudio Capelli. Man, this is just crazy.
Well, that was hugely dramatic there in what was a 4-car scrap for 3rd position. It's now shifted significantly, and Capelli has been passed by Patrick Schauber, as he rightly said. Schauber then up into 3rd position. The question is, will Claudio Remigio Capelli fight back? He's been struggling through turn 12 in particular so far in this race. Here you see the 69 of de Groot under pressure from Chrysonis. This is for 6th place. Chrysonis definitely got the advantage over de Groot in terms of pace. Melvin's car just not handling right with all of that bodywork missing. Kenko Miura, 5-second penalty or not, is also quicker, going around the outside there at turn 13. And then it's Simone Giussani in the Double V racing car that follows. Giussani powering out of the final corner. Melvin's giving it a good fight. He's trying to hold on, but he is definitely disadvantaged with the car that damaged. Giussani to the inside line then as they run towards turn 1 at the beginning of lap number 4 of this race, and Giussani gets Kenko Miura as well. Very good driving there from Simone Giussani. Jack Davidson looking to get involved in this as well, as is Julian Rehberg. Rehberg around the outside now of Melvin de Groot. Jack Davidson trying to get to the inside of him at turn 3, gets past the 77, and tags the rear, I think, of the 69 as well. We can't afford to lose any more bodywork from that Team Blake-Molen car, so I don't think Sebastian Blake-Molen and co will be thanking him for that little tag. But Jack Davidson wanted to work his way up the order as well. I, for one, was a little bit surprised that he didn't qualify within the top 10 coming out of qualifying, but it looks like the pace is with Jack now. He's done some pre-season testing in wildly different climates, such as Knockhill in Scotland, which doesn't get to this temperature in mid-August, much less mid-April. You see there a bit of a lock-up from the number 5 car, Capelli drifting wide, and that's going to open up the door to Dombrowski. Dombrowski with the inside line into turn 12. Expertly done from the young Team Blake-Molen driver, or maybe not, just breaking traction there as the circuit disappeared underneath him. There's a lot of elevation change there at turn 12, and I think as the track just dipped away from the tyres there on the curves at turn 12, he just lost the rear. Car went light on him, and that allowed Capelli to go back through at least for the time being. Give it another lap or so though, and I think Dombrowski will be right there with him. Giussani, I think that was having to defend further back. Yes, it is. That Giussani just ahead of Miura. Okay, yes, it is. So there's been a change there. Miura, of course, already has his 5-second penalty applied. So where he is on the road does not correlate to where he is on the timing screen. On the road, he is there in 8th place, but on the timing screen, he's in 13th with that penalty. 5 laps into this race, and we've already had more action than we've had in some full-length races in EuroNASCAR 2. They've clearly been away for 6 months, have a lot of pent-up energy, and are expelling it all at once.
Yes, definitely the perfect words for that. I wanted to ask you something about Jack Davidson's paint scheme here, because it's one of those cars really pointing out how it's the pink beast on the road.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I lost you for a second.
No problem. The pink beast of Jack Davidson. How do you like the paint scheme?
Yeah. Well, I'm a commentator, so anything that can stick out in a pack, I like. It's certainly unique, isn't it? It's a very cool metallic livery, and I must say that's something that I really love about EuroNASCAR. While a lot of major international series, the colour schemes seem to devolve into 2 or 3 colours, black, white, red. That's not the case here. We get a lot of different colour schemes. We get a lot of emboldened teams that want to design something unique and special, and certainly I think Jack Davidson thinks, well, I want to grab the attention. I want my sponsors like GT Omega to have a bit of a spotlight on them, and he achieves that by having that unique wrap on the car. It certainly does catch the eye. He's running 9th on the road at the moment, but 8th overall. Of course, he is behind Miura, but Miura with that penalty to consider. Of course, that's a difficult position, isn't it, for Davidson, because he knows that he may well be aware that in reality... Oh, well, I'll interrupt myself there. Giussani just backed off and allowed Miura past him. I thought he had a problem, but he just allowed Kenko Miura to go through there. That was a little bit odd. I don't know whether maybe the call came in that, hey, this guy's going to have to make up 5 seconds on you to actually gain a position, but it looked very intentional, didn't he, that you just allowed him through?
There must have been a mistake, or he really let him pass, and we also saw Melvin de Groot really on the pit road, so the bodywork problem was a little bit bigger than expected. I thought that he could race to the end of the race with just the bodywork of the car, but now the Legend Trophy title contender and maybe the favorite in this special classification, he's gone, and this opens the door for Claudio Remigio Capelli in 4th place to take the win in the Legend Trophy, because the next one is far behind in 11th place. It's Roberto Benedetti, so doors open for Capelli to have a good advantage over Melvin de Groot after the first race.
That's very true, definitely. There's also, of course, equally room for Dubek to have a big lead in the championship coming out of race 1 versus Gilles Linster, especially within the Hendricks garage. That is going to matter a lot, of course. Whether there is any investigation thrown into the first corner debate, I don't know. To me, it looks a lot like a racing incident and a meeting in the middle, more so than something one could really attribute blame to, but we'll have a look, I'm sure, in the postscript with the stewards. There you see Giussani again getting quite loose and leery. Of course, you've got to be careful about that. That's one of the things you get used to as a EuroNASCAR driver. As you get more and more seasoned, you understand more and more how to drive smoothly, how to preserve these Hoosier tyres across the 2 race distances and qualifying. And you see there Giussani, as quick as he's going right now, going fully leery out of turn 2, then locking up into turn 4. That's not the way to make those tyres go the distance.
Yeah, that's a problem, and he has to look for the tires also for tomorrow, and there I see the problem. If he's locking up so many times and sliding around the track in several corners, he's going to have a problem tomorrow, and he has to be really careful because Julian Rehberg and Victor Neumann, 2 other rookie trophy contenders, they are not so far away, so they are just waiting for Giussani doing one little mistake, and then they could take over the lead in the rookie trophy. At the moment, Jack Davidson, we have a problem with the 11 car.
Yeah, Razor Sardeja slow there. That car does not look happy at all. It's never crossed the line to complete the previous lap, so it's currently limping around, I believe, turn 13 there. Unfortunately, that car looks like it has something amiss. I can't help but notice that Thomas Tefel is applying the pressure to Martin Dubek, but Dubek is responding. Dubek's last lap was the quickest one of the race, a 1:42.008. Of course, that's useful for tomorrow's race as well. The grid for race 2 determined by fastest laps in race 1. So for Martin Dubek, a quick lap is useful both this evening and tomorrow morning. But I think that Toffel is going to make him work for this race victory. We've seen a lot of promise out of Thomas Toffel, I would say, this weekend. He had the closest thing I've ever seen to a motorcycle racing high side in qualifying earlier on. Had a little bit of an error, I think it was in the EN2 qualifying session, right here actually at turn 9 and 10. Of course, being an ex-motorcycle racer, I suppose that does make sense. But overall, his pace, his performance, his consistency have been very, very strong this weekend. And if you look at the curve, the progression from 12 months ago to today, Thomas Toffel has clearly come on immensely. We have a yellow flag at turn 14, and that might be for Reza Sardeha. It could be for something else. We'll take a look. Here's Jack Davidson looking for the inside of Rehberg. So Rehberg under pressure from Davidson at the moment. In fact, it's the other way around, in fact, because Davidson was ahead of him a lap ago. Julian Rehberg has gotten through here. But Jack Davidson will try and retaliate. Looks to the inside at turn 14, where we understand there should be yellow flags. Looks like there is a car off there in the back of Schoff. That could well be the missing number 11 car. It certainly looked like it was. But Jack Davidson not one to lose a position and then just watch the driver go away. He's going to retaliate if he can.
Julian Rehberg, interesting driver. He came out of, another mistake there by the 66 car, Thomas Dombrowski. A little bit in a slide, but he kept it. He got the car under control, so everything's fine, but he lost now the momentum to attack Claudio Remigio Capelli. But I want to go back to Julian Rehberg. He came out of the driver recruitment program. He raced touring cars before, karting slalom, everything like this. But he's a really, really young guy. He's living just, I think, half an hour away from my home, so we're almost neighbors. But I discovered him this year, and he's really, really fast, and we have a full course yellow.
So then that could be to pick up the stricken number 11 car of Reza Sardeha then. Full course yellow out on the circuit. So the routine during a full course yellow is second gear, 2,400 RPM, and on the pit limiter as well. So full course yellow is managed nicely, and that means that everybody's gaps should remain consistent, although to me it does look a bit like Thomas Toffel was maybe a bit later to react to the full course yellow than Dubek, because whatever way you look at it, that was not the gap a lap and a bit ago, was it?
Definitely, that gap is a little bit smaller than it should be, I think. But yeah, we're going back to green when the car is moved away. This is a full course yellow. There we see the marshals and the track personnel working already on the 11 car. Very important here. This is not a safety car procedure, so these laps will not be added to the race distance. We use full course yellow in those little incidents, so we can move on to green whenever we want, whenever the cars, wherever they are on the track. So it's a good thing, I think, to get the green flag out very, very quickly. And we're just waiting for the 11 car to be in a safe place, and then we keep on going. But this is going to be an interesting battle between Martin Dubek and Thomas Toffel at the front of the field. And I'm looking what Patrick Schober is doing. I think he has a margin of about 5 seconds to the top two. Yeah. So maybe Patrick has still a chance to join them.
It's quite possible, isn't it? We've seen Patrick Schober in clear air put in good pace before, so it wouldn't be too shocking if he did manage that. We also saw Paul Giffreau watching on there in his civvies. I noticed that there weren't many drivers committing to the full race suit bit that didn't need to. Usually in EuroNASCAR 2, you'll see the pro drivers out there in their full regalia, and of course vice versa. But I noticed Hazemans, Giuffreau, all of them electing for a t-shirt and more often than not shorts in these conditions. It's a very hot weekend here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo, and that gap has shrunk again. It's gotten even smaller.
Yeah, almost bump drafting under full course yellow.
Yes, I wonder how that's gonna pan out immediately post FCY as to whether there's any bulletins up on the timing screen. But very close together as we go back to green flag racing. Then Thomas Tuffel will be right there, and look at Patrick Schauber, he's right there as well. So I don't know, was Martin Dubeck slow or were they quick? That needs to be the question at a certain point. It might not be that those two were breaking the rule. It might have been Martin Dubeck was under the maximum speed, which would be very unlike Martin, very unlike a racing driver. But all three of them are very close together. The net result then is that we're talking about Patrick Schauber possibly getting involved. Well, he very much is involved now, and he's right there on the back of Thomas Tuffel. We've seen these two scrap a couple of times previously in the 2023 NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. Thomas Tuffel, big lock up there on the front right. Of course, so difficult to get the car turned in if you've got the axle stopping underneath you like that. Under rotating tyre, he managed to get it turned into turn 11 fairly well. RDV competition then with Patrick Schauber, their new young gun, at the wheel for the first time. I think that's such an interesting combination. Schauber in EuroNASCAR 2, Giuffreau in EuroNASCAR Pro. RDV competition really has shifted to this kind of youth focus, hasn't it now? It seems to be one of the brightest young teams on the grid when it comes to giving young talent opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. I cannot add anything to this. Frank Viola is doing a really good job, the team boss, and the experience is still in the garages. We have Frédéric Gabillon again with the team, and he's helping the young Frédéric Gabillon, a former EuroNASCAR driver with a lot of experience, championship battles. He fought a lot against Alon Day, Ander Villarino, and all the other big names in EuroNASCAR, and he's giving now the experience to those young guys. And I saw him working a lot also with Kenko Miura, because Miura's team and RDV competition are in a technical partnership here. And this is the battle with Jack Davidson and Julian Rehberg, and we have to check what Julian Rehberg is doing, because he's still hunting Simone Giussani in the rookie trophy battle for the first place.
Yes, he is, but I don't think you can hunt very well if you've got two predators chasing you through the forest. Jack Davidson and Roberto Benedetti right there on the back. The 21 and the 88 cars, two drivers that know their way around this machine more so than Rehberg will. And then also joining them seemingly in the back of shot as well as Victor Neumann. Now, Victor's a name that I'm familiar with from UK single-seaters and sports car racing at club level. Sports 2000s and the F1000 Formula Jedi cars here in the UK. Very different type of machine to a EuroNASCAR, but interesting to see how he adapts. Based on what I've seen of him in sports cars, I expect him to be very good in these machines once he's got his head around the cars. To the inside line going defensive there is Thomas Tuffel then. He's under a lot of pressure from Patrick Schauber at the moment as they turn through the first corner, and Tuffel going very wide into turn 1. Turn 2, the inside beckons for Patrick Schauber. Tuffel loses the rear axle a little bit there. He had to catch a slide in the braking zone, and that was enough to push him wide and push Patrick Schauber through into second place. Schauber gets through then, and he will now have his sights firmly set on his fellow Mustang-bodied car, Martin Dubeck, at the head of the order. Dubeck for Hendricks Motorsport is your leader then. Patrick Schauber for RDV competition sits in second. Race Art Technologies, Thomas Tuffel sits in third place, shadowing the rear of Patrick Schauber, who just got past him. Fourth place is Claudio Remeggio Capelli in his first appearance of the season, of course, with the Alex Caffey Academy Motorsport team after previously racing with Race Art. Dombrowski with Team Blake and Molan rounding out your overall top 5 at the moment. This battle for second now looks like it's not settling. I don't think Schauber's getting away from Tuffel, but I just wonder if Thomas, with his general experience of motor racing on 2 wheels and 4, maybe he's got the sense to just sit behind Schauber and see if he can drag both himself and the 34 car into a battle for the lead with Martin Dubek.
Yeah, and remember, last year we had an amazing battle between Dubek and Schauber already at this track. They were fighting all race long, going side by side in several turns, so we know that Dubek and Schauber can battle each other really, really fair and in a very spectacular way. So let's see if Schauber can catch up with Martin Dubek. But Dubek, to be honest, after he took the lead, he did 0 mistakes. He's really, really fast. On the full course yellow, he lost a little bit of the gap, but in general, he's doing a really good job. And we have the penalty against Thomas Toffel. Track limits, 5 seconds for Thomas Toffel.
Well, much like we saw from Lucas Lasser earlier on, will it cost Toffel a podium in the same way that it did for the Frenchman Lasser earlier on? That could be a big talking point. Certainly at the moment, Claudio Remeggio Capelli would just about inherit 3rd place from Toffel. He is just over 4 seconds behind, but Capelli is going to need to push on in order to stay within that 5-second window that's suddenly all important. So he'll be getting the message to push, push, push at the moment. Patrick Schauber, well, we'll come back to the front end at the minute in a moment, because Jack Davidson is once again catching the eye of our director, and of myself as well. This time he's fallen behind Benedetti, so each time we see Davidson close behind someone, it's actually not so much an attack as trying to regain what he feels is rightfully his, but Benedetti has got up into the overall top 10 then and passed Davidson. But just running a bit wide there, Benedetti. That gives him, though, a good run out of the corner. Davidson and Neumann, I can assure you, while they have both come up through the UK scene, they won't have ever raced each other before. They may have shared a paddock at some point. Davidson looking to the outside then, maybe to the inside at turn 14. Looks like he's strong in particular through turn 12. That's quite a difficult corner to get right, but he always seems to get good momentum out of that corner.
Yes, and we have 2 laps to go, and you know exactly what that means. I'm going to head down to victory lane right now to get some interviews. So enjoy the last lap. It was an amazing race for me. I'm watching the rest on the big screen on the podium.
Not a bad seat to have, to be fair. Good luck down there, Andre. Martin Dubek should be the man that meets you there, but Patrick Schauber closing in just 1.9 seconds away now with 2 laps to go. We'll see whether anything happens there. We have a 5-second penalty for abusing track limits, and this time it goes to Roberto Benedetti, so the 88 car gaining a penalty much the same way as we saw previously for the 34 of Toffel. So Toffel, who could lose out on an overall podium to the Legend Trophy leader Claudio Remeggio Capelli. Could also see Benedetti lose a good couple of positions and fall out of the top 10 with his 5-second penalty for abusing track limits. You see Julian Reberg there, very sideways, coming out of turn 8. He's clearly pushing on here, feeling the pressure from Benedetti, but turning it into some solid pace. He's, of course, again going to be careful. He doesn't want to end up with no rear tyres for race 2 of the weekend tomorrow morning. But pressing on, he most certainly is. Dubek and Schauber have started the final lap of the race then. The gap is still 1.9 seconds between the Czech racer and the young Austrian. And we have an off, the 27 car, Simone Giussani. That's a big shame for Giussani. He was looking very, very good. He was on for a top 10 finish in his first ever appearance racing in EuroNASCAR. And unfortunately, it instead ends in the gravel. He's there on the very, very wide end of the gravel trap at 13 and 14, and the way that car was struggling to properly move through the gravel there, I think he may have had a tyre go down or maybe find some damage. And look at how he's ploughed the gravel in there with the splitter. The 27 car unfortunately going no further in this race then. Giussani registering a non-finish. He should have been a top 10 finisher in that race, but sadly it was not to be on this occasion. Of course, it's all important to set a fast lap time in this race in order to get pole position for tomorrow. And it looks like Gil Linster, after that contact between he and Martin Dubeck at the start of the race, he's the only one to have broken into the 141s. And he's gone out there and continued to set some fast lap times, even after the contact and the damage earlier on. And so he provisionally has pole position for tomorrow. He could avenge then the first lap of today's race, but Martin Dubeck will be delighted to see that checkered flag. He crosses the line to win the race for Hendricks Motorsport. Patrick Schauber takes second position. Thomas de Velde crosses the line in third place, but with a 5-second penalty to be applied to his time, Claudio Remeggio Capelli will inherit third place. De Velde will take fourth position then. Dombrowski fifth. Miura, I think, will just about hold on to sixth position. He's got more than 5 seconds between himself and the battle pack further behind, in which there has been a late change by the looks of it. Julian Reberg has gotten past Chrysonis. In fact, Chrysonis did not cross the line yet. Thomas Chrysonis has gone missing on the very final lap of the race. The 46 car has failed to cross the line on the final lap. We don't know what's happened to Thomas Chrysonis. He was running within the top 10. He was running in 7th place. And on the last lap of the race, he is falling through the pack. His car is idling towards the pit lane. And he will see that screen, as you do, on the start-finish gantry with the checkered flag graphic blinking, and he will know that at the very last opportunity his car has let him down, and he will be so aggrieved with that. Chrysonis then slowly making his way back in, but it's Martin Dubeck who claims the win. Dubeck wins it here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. The number 7 car is victorious. A former EuroNASCAR 2 champion has staked an early claim to the EuroNASCAR 2 title in 2024. He's got a long way to go. He's got his homeland to go, of course, at Autodrom Most later on in the season. But the ever shy Martin Dubeck, he'll be there for an interview, whether he wants to have one or not, with Andre Viegold shortly. And he will be the one to claim the red banner, the championship leader's banner, coming out of round 1, race 1 here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Schauber with second place then. De Velde just dropped down to 4th position, so confirmed Claudio Remeggio Capelli on the podium. And of course also claiming the Legend Trophy win. Julian Reberg, with a very strong first appearance in EuroNASCAR 2, takes 7th position, and he did look very handy there in that race. Looked like he really had a grasp of what was going on underneath him in that car. I'm very excited to see what Julian Reberg can do as this season progresses, but for now takes on 7th overall and the win in Rookie Trophy in his first appearance in EuroNASCAR. Your top 10 in that race then: Dubeck winning from Schauber, Claudio Remeggio Capelli taking 3rd place, Thomas de Velde in 4th position, Thomas Dombrowski in 5th place ahead of Kenko Miura, 7th place Julian Reberg ahead of Jack Davidson, who had a strong result there in 8th place. Neumann and Benedetti rounding out your overall top 10 here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Mario Ercoli finished just behind in 11th place ahead of Frederick Perriat, who made up some good positions. I think Perriat's finishing 12th place from pretty much the rear of the field. He might be the driver that ends up with the bonus points for most positions gained. I'm not 100% certain on that, but he strikes me as one of the most obvious ones who moved up through the order. Mikael Blekemolen 13th, Nick Strickler 14th, Florian Richard in 15th, and Riala Viti in 16th place. Oh, sorry, Viti Riala. As out of the car comes Martin Dubeck. He's on the roof and celebrating a win. Martin Dubeck loves these winning moments. And there you see Hendricks Motorsport crew congratulating their man their longest standing driver, of course, for his result there. Car number 48, Nick Strickler, also got a 5-second penalty for track limits at the end of the race as well. So I don't know whether that's been applied yet or not, but he could potentially fall further back from his current 14th place finishing position. Celebrations begin then on the podium, and Martin Dubeck is our first race winner of 2024 in EuroNASCAR 2. No doubt hear from him in a few moments, along with Andre Viegold. Of course, the ceremonial sticker as well, the winner's sticker that goes on the roof of the car. There's the 27 machine, unfortunately being craned away, and that does look to me like maybe a slightly more major problem than we anticipated. The fact that that car has had to be craned away in that fashion would suggest it's something a little more than just a mistake from the driver. Simone Giussani and Double V Racing almost had a very positive start. Martin Dubeck is down there with Andre Viegold. The Czech flag waves behind you guys. Well done to Martin.
Welcome back to Victory Lane. How was it for you?
Thank you, nice feeling. Back again, was easy, you know? Was really good from start to the end, so to the finish. So I'm really happy. I think that this win in EuroNASCAR 2 is after 1.5 years, so really happy, and I hope that the fans also enjoy it. So it was good. I'm really happy. I don't know what to say.
Then I will let you say something about the first lap, about the first turn. And we talked about it before the race, you and Jelinsta going side by side and you made contact. Can you tell me something what happened there?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. There was a contact, but it was on the straight, so not in the corner, so I don't think that was any mistakes there. I don't know what happened. I have to check on the video, but I was faster in the first turn, so I had a good start. So in the first turn I was first, and so yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was good.
The last time you were winning, you became the champion. Do you think about the title?
It was 2021 and I started with victory in Valencia, so it's the same start and we will see.
All right, thank you so much. And now you get something very special. It's the first time, I think, for you. Just open it and put the sticker on the car.
Yeah, thank you.
The fact that he remembers that his 2021 championship winning campaign started with a win here at Valencia tells you he's very much thinking about the championship as he applies that sticker to the car. EuroNASCAR 2 race winner, the first time in 2024. He didn't get to do this in 2023, but he adds a sticker to the roof of the car. Of course, Martin, the only driver in that number 7 car, so he'll get to try and add more stickers come the second, or come the EuroNASCAR Pro races as well. He gets a lot of mileage in during these weekends, gets to test the limits of his stamina, especially on these warmer days. And certainly the efforts of the likes of this man, Patrick Schauber, kept Martin on his toes. Let's go down there with Andre Viegold.
Patrick Schauber, a roller coaster of emotions, I think, in this race. You went down to 5th, back to 2nd place. Tell me, how was your race?
Hot, really hot, yeah. It's amazing how hot in the car it can get. But yeah, P2, I think I can be happy with that result, but still I want to go up to the P1, yeah. So yeah, I hope tomorrow I will start in a good position, and yeah, tomorrow I will fight for the victory.
All right, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
There you go, the Hendricks Motorsport crew aligning and forming there. And you will see getting ready for this podium. We've been seeing from the MMA community, of course, people from the Warrior Trip athlete representation company. And that's well, we've had some MMA presence in terms of the Grand Marshals this weekend. It's been very exciting to welcome them along, of course, our regular partners, and of course our bearded gentleman as well. Claudio Remigio Capelli is with us.
So I'm happy, yes.
We're already joking around here. Now we're live. Now you can tell me how you feel.
Great. So it is the second, I think, podium overall in 3 years. This is very sweat, so I'm very happy. I saw they closed the gap, but I stay calm and I said maybe they do their work, the direction do their work, and so I'm lucky now. I'm third. Thank you. My sensation, I realized this evening.
Just one.
Great. Thank you so much.
Just one thing. Can I test if it's real?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah, definitely real. All right.
One thing, thanks to the team. Great job from Tuesday to today. Another car. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Doesn't get better than an interview with Claudio, does it? A podium for Claudio Remigio Capelli then. He'll be looking to try and get to that top step this season, I suspect, given how quick and consistent he's been over the last couple of years, that he might end up being a bit of a factor in this championship if he can put himself in a strong position before we go double points racing at Oschersleben and then Zolder, the playoff aspect of the season. And speaking of the playoffs, I don't know if he'll be at the top towards the end, but Julian Rehberg has been very strong in this first race.
First win in the Rookie Trophy. How do you feel?
I don't know. I am so speechless. I don't know why I'm on the podium. P7, I thought I'm going to be in the top 20. I don't know. It was just, I'm so exhausted, and it was just amazing.
Compared to what you did before, how is it to be in a EuroNASCAR race?
I think I can't compare it. It's so much better. I can't say anything.
All right, then we keep it like this. Thank you so much. Congratulations on to the podium right now. Thank you.
Julian Rehberg then from the 77 crew. They'll be very happy to see him up there. Of course, he is in the second of the promotion cars. Festivities continue up on the podium. Pom-poms are ablaze as we get ready for these podium ceremonies. We'll have our Grand Marshals Cesar Alonso and Alejandro Thid up there with Remy Mazzolari once again. As the celebrations continue up there. Some great athletic feats we see out of the cheerleading brigades throughout Europe in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. One of the big selling points is this kind of American feel, borrowing some cues from not just NASCAR, but American sports in general. And often it is the venues themselves that have a big part of making this happen. You see a lot of it at American Speed Fest, which is kind of developing into its own country music festival alongside the racing festivities at Brands Hatch. But each and every venue on the calendar really does get into the spirit of trying to make it feel like as authentic of an American experience as possible for the fans in attendance. There are the fans watching on, getting ready for the podium ceremony. Great to see everyone enjoying their EuroNASCAR experience so much. I don't think anyone enjoys it as much as Claudio Remigio Capelli. It's fair to say that he is always one of the jolliest men in the paddock, and we now know for sure there's no Hollywood magic going on. That beard is real. Thank you, Andre, for settling that one. That's been a rumor. It is a very, very real beard on the man who loves his American bikes, who loves his American lifestyle in general, and so it only makes sense that he comes racing in EuroNASCAR. Has done some Legends racing as well, of course, so seems to like taking oval style cars, road course racing in Europe. I'm sure he'll like going to Venray for the first time in 5 years, back on an oval in EuroNASCAR, something we're all so excited to see happen. And I believe that the next thing we see up on the podium will be our overall top 3 ceremony. And indeed, Claudio Remigio Capelli takes to the podium. 3rd step on the podium for him. Patrick Schauber taking the 2nd step. The young Austrian racer with a good haul of points to start his season. And then at the top, it is. I couldn't have said it better than the local announcer. Martin Dubek secures his first win of the season and his very first attempt. The 2021 champ is back in business.
Alejandro Cid, luchador de MMA, embajador de Warrior Tip, entregará el trofeo al tercer clasificado.
MMA influencer Alejandro Cid will be among those presenting trophies. He provides the 3rd place trophy to Claudio Remigio Capelli. Cesar Alonso, the Grand Marshal for this race, from the Warrior Trip, as you can see on the back of his shirt. He provides the 2nd place trophy to Patrick Schauber, after giving us that rousing drivers start your engines earlier on. And it will be Martin Dubek who receives the top honours from Remy Mazzolari. He presents the top trophy to Dubek. That's 3 very satisfied drivers on this podium. 3 drivers who I suspect we're going to see on the podium a lot more during the 2024 EuroNASCAR 2 season. Let's see if Martin Dubek still remembers how to do this bit then. It's been a little while since he's been on the top step. He leads them in the spraying of the champagne, and look who gets it first. Of course, Claudio Remigio Capelli knows how to pop a cork. He sprays the champagne, and Patrick Schauber finally joins the shower as well. Massive congratulations to all 3 of them then. Also received Guerin family panel as well. It's the more fancy bottle that they have there under their shoulders. Quite a few of them end up with quite the collection of that lovely Guerin family panel that is provided due to that partnership. You see a video of Cesar Alonso at work in the back of shot as well. That's cool to see, some MMA action on the big screens. It's been a different kind of fight in both races this weekend. We've seen a lot of wheel-to-wheel action. We've seen a lot of bodywork being bent and buried away. Melvin de Groot, of course, lost his entire front end rather spectacularly earlier on. Here comes then the next podium. The Legend Trophy, and it will be Roberto Benedetti first onto the podium here. The number 88 car. There is Benedetti. The Japanese racer Kenko Miura comes to the top step. To the 2nd step, I should say, on the podium. And Claudio Remigio Capelli comes to the top step. Capelli right up there then. He will be delighted with that overall podium with this Legend Trophy top step as well. Kenko Miura, do hope we get to see him for a full season, because once he gets his head around the car, he will be very, very quick as well. We've seen that previously with Kenko. I do love this quote from Claudio Remeggio Capelli. He says that he is here because he loves American racing and, quote, other European championships are all the same soup. So says Claudio Remeggio Capelli. Of course, he won't like soup because it'll get in his beard, so it makes a lot of sense that he enjoys coming to race in EuroNASCAR. Berto Benedetti having a chat as he makes his way off the podium. A couple more presentations to go for the Lady Trophy honours as well as the Rookie Trophy. It will be the Rookie Trophy up there next.
Tercer clasificado entre los rookies, Mario Ercoli.
And up next, up first on the podium, third place finish on his first attempt in Rookie Trophy for Mario Ercoli, the young 16-year-old brother, new uncle, of course, after the great news for Gianmarco Ercoli, our reigning EuroNASCAR Pro Champion, has become a father overnight. And again, we send our congratulations to the Ercoli family. Second place then going to Victor Neumann. Julian Reberg to the top step. He sounded absolutely floored by the fact that he claimed a win on his first attempt. He sounds like he's really enjoying his experience in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. The other two have got the trophy. Where's our top trophy? There it is. Julian Reberg receives his first EuroNASCAR trophy, and it's one that says P1 on it as well. That will be particularly sweet for him. There they are then, top step of the podium, sharing in it for the pictures. And all three drivers, I'm sure, will be delighted. Nick Strickler looks happy as well. He's had a good day, I think, this weekend. Cheering on some of his fellow drivers at the podium ceremony. Great to see some of the drivers from earlier on sticking around to meet the fans, to welcome their fellow drivers up onto the podiums. Next up, the Lady Trophy presentation. Ariana Casoli will take to the podium. Ariana, who lives and breathes motorsports, is also a media and communication manager and graphic designer, often working with motorsport clients. So she's always nose to the grindstone in the world of motorsport, in addition to her racing efforts. And Ariana Casoli taking the Lady Trophy honours here in EuroNASCAR 2, and celebrates a good result in her first race of the season, of course. Once again, racing with Speedhouse and sharing her 14 car with Ulysse Delso. They'll have a bit of a chat, I'm sure, in the garage after this to see what they can do to move further up the order in their respective races on Sunday. But with that trophy presentation complete, we can now prepare for Sunday. Day one of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series 2024 season has been completed. And if day one is anything to go by, you're in for a treat on EuroNASCAR's Sunday races. It'll be 10:10 Central European Summer Time when we go racing in EuroNASCAR 2, and 13:55 for EuroNASCAR Pro on Sunday. If you're local to Valencia, do come along. The atmosphere on Sunday race day in EuroNASCAR is unmatched. And if you can't make it to the circuit, then make sure you join us for all of the live action. It's been great bringing you the first day of racing in EuroNASCAR. Come back tomorrow for more.